Morningstar Pass is the first book of the Morningstar UFO trilogy, the story of the human race finding its place in a living cosmos. A new age dawns. The human race realizes it is not alone in the universe. Strangers have come with vastly superior technologies. They are called the Greys. In the depths of the Cold War, the U.S. government decided to meet with the Greys secretly at a place called Devil's Mesa, near the remote ranching town of Morningstar, Colorado. The aliens and the U.S. government sign a secret treaty of cooperation and scientific exchange. The aliens make Devil's Mesa their secret base, operated jointly with a secret U.S. government agency called MAGIC. But the secret treaty relationship does not go well. Many livestock near Morningstar are found mutilated. The local ranchers are enraged by this and suspect a connection to a rumored secret government facility at Devil's Mesa on restricted land. Also, many people are abducted and abused by the gray aliens, who seek to create an alien hybrid race with a human immune system so it can live on Earth. The aliens ban the humans from returning to the moon, and the Greys construct fortified bases there. The Greys try to intimidate the U.S. government with displays of power. Desperately, the government pushes back. When it is successful, they send in a special forces battalion called Dark Carnival, or the Carney, to cordon the crash site, storm and capture the craft, and secure it so it can be taken away. So instead of friendship and cooperation, the secret treaty relationship has devolved into fear and loathing. But the whole situation has a fatal flaw. It is profoundly illegal. The secret treaty was negotiated without the advice and consent of the U.S. Senate, by ambassadors it did not appoint, and the Senate has never ratified the treaty. Therefore, when the UFO cover-up ends, there will be a constitutional crisis. That is the foundation of the looming crisis. But also, in the surrounding stars, the neighboring peoples view the situation at Earth with mounting alarm. The Earth's solar system is in the center of an interstellar neutral zone, and the Greys are violating it. The repto-avian people, called Anak, have an implacable hatred for the Greys and have warred with them for centuries. The Pleiadian people have sympathy for the humans and view us as kindred. Indeed, because of contact in human prehistory, we humans are all part Pleiadian. But the most powerful, warlike, cruel, and savage race in the nearby stars is the Samar, and they have warned the other races not to interfere at Earth. Yes, because of prehistory, all humans are also part Samaran. A secret government council called the Magi controls the secret treaty situation on Earth. But after decades of confrontation with the Greys, they have decided that opposing them is hopeless. So they begin covertly to work for the Grey aliens. They help the Greys turn Devil's Mesa into a vast hatchery for hybrid embryos to eventually colonize the Earth. Says the wizard, leader of the Magi, humanity is now obsolete. We will replace it with a wiser and more advanced race, and I will govern the Earth in this transition. So the fate of the Earth has been decided by a secret government group, allied with a foreign power not of this Earth. But no one outside of the Magi Secret Council knows this. The magic program is classified above top secret, compartmentalized, pitch black. It is the most secret program on Earth. So it can be said that absolute secrecy creates absolute power. However, one of the Magi dissents and leaks above top secret documents to Cassandra Chen, a news anchor at an upstart internet news network. She realizes what all this means and decides to investigate, calling the story Stargate. However, she does not seek a Pulitzer Prize. Instead, because of a family tragedy many years before, she now seeks a meaningful death and believes the Stargate story will supply it to her. She is helped by her close friend and fellow anchor, Pamela Monroe, who has even deeper motives. Their science editor, Murray Rosen, is eager to please the two women, wants to help, and is sent to Goldstone, California to the Deep Space Tracking Facility in the Mojave, where the secret documents reveal that a supposedly long-lost Mars probe, Mars Observer, is sending images back of a pyramid near the face on Mars. Murray is found murdered in his burned-out car in the desert. On news of Murray's death, Pamela has a psychological collapse and must be put in a psych ward in a nearby hospital. There, she tears off all her clothes and raves hysterically in an unknown language. She was in love with Murray, and they were having a secret affair. Her real name is not Pamela Monroe either. It is Elena Monachenko, and she was a half-Jewish child refugee from Ukraine, fleeing Chernobyl and the collapse of the Soviet Union, who grew up poor in Cleveland. But that is not her deeper secret. Since she was 15 years old, Pamela has been a UFO abductee. The two women grimly resolve to pursue the Stargate story and find in the documents that two survivors of what really happened at Roswell in 1947 exist, and they are willing to be interviewed. Encouraged, the women swiftly redouble their efforts to produce an expose Stargate documentary to bring down the UFO cover-up. Cassandra and Pamela journey to Morningstar with a film crew to see Devil's Mesa firsthand. They go to a place on ranch land where the reputed alien base can be seen in the distance. They are escorted by armed ranchers and the sheriff and his deputies. Pamela faces the Mesa and is determined. "We have them, Cassie," she says. "They can't move it." Cassandra, on the other hand, is morbidly hypnotized by the sight of the Mesa. "Pamela, my friend, I will die naked in that place before this is done." Pamela protests her saying this, but Cassandra replies, "It is the price, Pamela, that I must pay to bring this place down." Pamela quickly gets Cassandra away from the Mesa and Morningstar. Once away from that place, Cassandra recovers herself, to Pamela's delight. They then both move with confidence and determination to finish their Stargate special. The Stargate documentary airs and causes a sensation. The two veterans of Roswell give their account of what really happened in 1947. They were crewmen on a P-61 Black Widow night fighter armed with radar and heavy machine guns, and they shot down two UFOs in the early morning of July 4th over Roswell. They had been ordered to defend the nation's entire nuclear weapons stockpile, all 5 nuclear weapons, then stored secretly at Roswell Air Force Base. Pamela discusses her hypnotic regressions, revealing her being carried away and abused on alien spaceships, sometimes far out into space, and even once meeting the chief alien in the solar system, named Sadak Sar. The wizard dismisses the Stargate special, saying, "This cannot damage us. Nothing on earth can stop us now. He tells the commander of his secret police force, Virgil Jackson. The blonde belongs to the aliens, who will deal with her soon enough. But Cassandra, I can tell she is in love with the darkness. We must take her and break her, to serve me in the new order. Cassandra begins wearing a cyanide capsule in a necklace around her neck. Her deepest fear is that she will be captured alive by the secret government. But the damage is done. Demonstrations erupt around the country demanding an end to the UFO cover-up. Also, the commander of the Carney, heartsick and suspecting the Magi have gone rogue, orders his chief deputy, Colonel Robert Schwartzman, to protect the two women. After 80 years, the UFO cover-up must now end, and the two women can end the cover-up for us, he says to Schwartzman. Schwartzman and Cassandra meet and begin a doomed love affair. Armed by the secret documents that the two women have provided them, the Congress convenes an emergency joint House and Senate investigation hearing. The Carney also provides them with the body of a hybrid. Cassandra feels triumphant and goes to Capitol Hill to report on the hearings. In her excitement, she forgets her cyanide capsule at home. As this is happening in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill, something else happens near Morningstar, Colorado. The ranchers, aided by a team from the Carney, bring down a saucer as it tries to take a cow for mutilation. Desperately, the guard force at Devil's Mesa is sent to recover the crashed vehicle before reporters can arrive to see it. But they run into a bunch of trigger-happy cowboys, and a massive gun battle ensues. The cowboys win the gun battle, and the UFO cover-up now has only hours to live. The president hears of this and is terrified of a confrontation with the Greys. He turns to the Magi for help. He then also submits the secret treaty to the Congress to ratify after the fact. He declares a state of emergency and martial law and orders the arrest of Cassandra, Chen, and Pamela Monroe for treason with paramilitary troops to take control of the Capitol. At the Pentagon, there is confusion and paralysis as the president has ordered the military to stand down and not interfere. The only armed force guarding the Congress is 200 park police. Cassandra frantically calls the governor of Maryland and pleads with him to mobilize and send his National Guard to protect the Congress at Capitol Hill. And he does as she asks. National Guard troops arrive to back up the police at Capitol Hill. In the twilight's last gleaming, the Congress fearfully debates the treaty with the aliens, knowing that to reject it now may mean war with the Greys. The secret government forces are counting on the aliens to show up in the sky over the Capitol and produce shock and awe. But it is cloudy, and no one can see them. The aliens fly around half-heartedly above the clouds, and the Carney drive them away with electromagnetic pulse weapons, which they possess. Terrified, Congress will vote to reject the treaty and take away all their power. The secret government forces attack Capitol Hill to try and take over the government. The UFO cover-up is considered too big to fail. In the ferocious fighting, Pamela leads troops, and the Carney arrive to help defend the Congress. After a terrible night of death and destruction, the dawn arrives, and Capitol Hill still stands. Congress has rejected the secret treaty and removed the president for treason. National Guard and other military forces pour into Washington, D.C. to support the new government. But thousands are dead, and Pamela has been badly wounded and is near death. Cassandra Chen has been captured by the secret government forces in the confusion of the fighting. They take her and many other captives as hostages as they make a panicked retreat to Devil's Mesa, their last stronghold. The government rushes military forces to Morningstar to surround the Mesa with massive power. But because of Cassandra and the other hostages, the government does not attack, but gives the aliens and the secret government forces a 48-hour deadline to surrender and come out of the Mesa. In the Mesa, there is panic and chaos. So Virgil Jackson and the Wizard arrive. He orders Virgil to form a special headquarters police force called Hell's Police, which ruthlessly restores order. The Wizard orders the guard force to fight to the death if the government attacks, and to kill anyone who will not obey his commands. Cassandra is then told by the Wizard that she must make a broadcast urging the human race to quit resisting and surrender to the Greys. And if she does not do this broadcast, he will have her taken to the pain section of the facility and be tortured to death. She refuses and is taken away. In the meantime, Robert Schwartzman and the remaining Carney are trying to enter Devil's Mesa by a secret tunnel to rescue Cassandra and the other captives. It is considered a suicide mission, but he is desperately in love with her. Virgil Jackson, partly out of desperation and partly out of admiration, rallies his most trusted police and raids the pain section to rescue Cassandra, massacring the pain section people in the process. It is payback time in the Mesa. They rush her to the medical section of the facility to treat the torture wounds on her back. There she is put back together with staples and Novocaine. There are no other painkillers. All the rest of them have been taken by the troops. Virgil pleads with her to make the broadcast to buy time so he can arrange an escape for the captives and his people before the government attack. The wizard orders her to be cleaned up and wear a royal outfit to give the broadcast. Drunk with power, he brags to her that the aliens are planning to launch a massive attack on Earth at the end of the deadline. You will be my queen when I rule the Earth for the aliens. In the last age of humanity, he tells her. Using alien technology, Cassandra gives the broadcast out of Devil's Mesa to the whole Earth. But she rubs her back wounds against the chair she is sitting in to reopen them and puts in a journalistic coded message warning the government of the alien attack at the end of the deadline. Blood from her wounds becomes visible during the broadcast, but she mesmerizes the Magi to such a degree that they do not notice. The government launches a preemptive attack before the deadline. The Carney break into the base and try to rescue Cassandra before she can be executed because of the warning which was in the broadcast, which is discovered. Battles occur in the sky and in the Mesa as Marines and paratroopers storm the Mesa and fight the aliens and guards inside who fight to the death. The gray aliens, taken by surprise, can only send a fraction of their planned forces, and these are attacked by the Repto-Avians, so a huge battle occurs in space above the Mesa. The Repto-Avians then flee the solar system. The Mesa falls to the U.S. government forces, and Cassandra is rescued. Because of the fighting, the Mesa is turned into a towering inferno. Millions of hybrid embryos stored there are destroyed. The UFO cover-up is now finally ended. The U.S. government and its allies now marshal all of their strength and technologies to meet an expected Gray invasion. Cassandra wakes up in a hospital bed in Washington, D.C. She has traumatic amnesia and can remember nothing that happened after the congressional hearing began several days before. In the bed next to hers, Pamela Monroe lies recovering from the bullet wound that nearly killed her, but her legs are paralyzed. In the darkness before dawn, they see the morning star rise outside their hospital room window. Its beautiful light gives them both hope.
Maybe this is forever, forever fades away, like a rocket ascending into space. Could you not be sad? Could you not break down? After all, won't let go till you're safe and sound. Till